Today is a Thursday. Tomorrow is a Friday. That means Slay the Spire 2 is releasing the next update on it. And, as usual, I will be playing that game again. But today, I thought it would be right to explain why I am doing this, and why I don't think Slay the Spire 2 is handling their game's updates very well. So, they're in early access, which means they have signed a contract to get the game into a release date within the time that they said, which was 1.5 to 2 years. So anyway, they released this beta patch notes like 2 weeks ago. Well, 13 days ago. There's going to be a new one tomorrow. Anyway, so there's this one. So let's count. 1. Then there's, this one doesn't count, it's a better hotfix patch notes. This is a Neows letter. You can kind of tell in this Neows letter they're running out of ideas for it since they have no new content to show. They're showing stuff from a month ago. Like they said, the July new Neows letter is here, Slayers. Last month we bid farewell to the Doormaker. Last month. Should have covered it in last month's Neows letter, then not this month's. Anyway, so let's scroll down. Okay, this is number 2. I think these two, this one and the other one is the ones I've covered on my channel. So there's 2. There's 3. There's a Neows letter. They were talking in the Neows letter. They actually had done some stuff here. The bestiary connecting to the workshop. Nothing changing the game that much, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so I've counted 3. There's a major update. I'm not counting that. It's not a beta patch note. It's just a compilation of them. And then we have 4. These are just bug fixes. I think it's between 2 of them. This Neows letter. And then we have... This is just an add-on. So we have 5. I think this is 5. And this is just an add-on too. Okay, this one adds the bestiary. It changes the doormaker for the Aeon Glass. I'll talk about that later. So this actually added stuff. So we have had 5 stuff without actual content being added. I think the bestiary, even though they didn't add the descriptions for the monsters, I think it was a good addition and a worthwhile addition. Yeah, but this isn't. Yep, this isn't. Anyway, I'm not really going to talk about anything after this, except for one thing. Let's see where this is. Let's see. I think it's here. No, I think it's up. Here. Do 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 do. I don't know what I'm singing. I'm just singing random stuff. I make up songs sometimes. Do 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 do. Oh, it was here all along. Okay. Bi-weekly patching. As you probably noticed, we're moving to patching every 2 weeks rather than weekly, as outlined in our early access disclaimer. This may be a bit surprising as the first game patched weekly, but it was a lot of work, so it really... Swear word. There's a swear word here. This is a swear word. I don't say words like that. Anyway... So they switch from 1 week to 2 weeks, so you'd expect more content. What it really means is, I don't know, well, same amount of content as 1 week stuff. Anyway, so we have had 5 weeks of nothing, and there was this 1 week which added the bestiary, which was good. So there's been 5 weeks of nothing really for the content of the game, and I don't think they're really doing this well. Because when you look at the Neows letter, right, you see this stuff, which is cool. Looking at the old boss, the Doormaker. We'll get back to them. Anyway, so we have just this stuff. Looking at the old boss and the new one. Then we have this merch. Okay, free advertising. I get it. Then we have this connections game and some map masterpieces, which are them drawing on the maps. Then we have this community corner with these cool artworks. I actually think the 3D model one deserved to be the cover image. I think it was really cool they 3D modeled it. I don't really like that they, where is it? I don't really like that they keep giving it to, like, these drawn ones. I mean, whenever you 3D model thing, I respect that. That's really hard. And, of course, drawing stuff is hard too, but, like, yeah, anyway. You get what I mean, right? I mean, like, 3D modeling, it's like it's something new, it's something different. Anyway. So this newsletter, what it should have done is talk more about what is going on behind the scenes. So I know this stuff was behind the scenes, but like it's old news, it's a month ago. What they should have been talking about is what they were working on towards making the game be finished, not focusing on the past. It's like they're planning alternate acts 2 and 3. I think there's a roadmap back here. Oh, wait a moment. Okay, here's the roadmap. So we have this stuff. I mean, we've got this three, these three, and we haven't gotten the experimental game mode, so I'd expect that to be added tomorrow, but you know, my hope has vanished. Anyway, so we've got these ongoing tasks. Well, they've certainly been doing that, and they consider content different from featured in systems, which is nice to know. So if this is considered content and the bestiary isn't, then technically we have gotten no content at all. Well, I guess the cards and stuff. Yeah, but I feel like that's a feature in system. Anyway, so we haven't gotten a new event, I think. We've gotten new relics and potions and cards. I haven't really been looking at the finer details. Anyway, so they were going to do a new character, alternate act 2, alternate act 3, and all the other stuff after the finish of the game. So, act 4 and stuff. So, basically, what I think they should be doing is they should be looking at alternate act 2 and focusing on that in the game instead of this stuff. Look, the sooner they get alternate act 2, alternate act 3, and the new character out, the sooner they can balance it. It's not about balancing everything before they add it. It's about adding the new stuff and then balancing that. That's how I think they should be approaching it, to give them as much time as possible to do balancing. In a game such as this, where balancing is essential, they should be focusing on that. Then they say this. You may see this and think, but where are the dates? Why can't you promise dates? My response is it's not what works for us. Well, yeah, but like, you don't have to give when they release. But you can certainly be showing some of what you're working on. Like, you don't have to say when it's finished, but you can show some stuff in your newsletters, which is meant to be a newsletter for the game every month, instead of connections and, yeah, that sort of stuff. So we have all of this. I mean, like, look, you've got this animation for the Ironclad, which I can see at first glance you probably added. Oh, wait, no, they didn't. Yep. Okay. Wait, it was one of these. 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 Yep. Okay. So there's this defect animation, which is really cool. I've played on the defect a fair amount, and I've noticed that animation has been appearing a lot, which is great. But I feel like the new character should be the priority. They need to balance it. In the first game, the Watcher was added late, and you can really tell when it's balancing. So, like, all this stuff is cool, all this flavor, but they need to add some more. They need to add some more bones, I think, to the game with the characters and the action stuff. Also, something I've noticed is that enemy variety is really terrible, especially in Act 2 of this game. So I think they should probably be focusing on that. Like, I get the same elites every one. Like the Prism one, and the regular enemies too, like the 4 of them that can't take more than 9 damage per turn. The invertebrates, whatever they're called. I don't know. Anyway. Oh yeah, the Doormaker and Ano Glass. Now, that's something to talk about. Okay, so they had this version of the Act 3 boss. So there's this Act 3 boss, basically the final boss right now. And so there was the door maker, and then it got cut and replaced with the anal glass. Instead of adding actual content, they just added a whole new boss and replaced one for no particular reason. For a very bad reason too, I think. So anyway, we'll scroll down past this very good looking fan art. I really appreciate the fan art. Anyway. Oh yeah, my voice cracked just then, sorry. Okay. So one of these they removed the door maker. I'm trying to find it. I don't think it was these ones. Yeah, it wasn't these ones. They've done so much posts and so little content. Where was it? What? They probably removed the... Okay, they say here on Doormaker, we're currently monitoring the Doormaker and looking at a combination in-game feedback, social media posts, grammar mistake here, and looking at a combination in-game feedback doesn't make grammatical sense. Social media posts and metrics. Want to give players time to adjust a bit, otherwise we'll be balancing around knee-jerk reactions. Currently, from looking at millions of runs, Doormaker's overall difficulty/win rate is in a good place. Slightly weaker than the other Act 3 bosses, both in kill rate and damage dealt. See? Read this. Read this. Okay, now remember that. Put it in your mind. Also, you can read this, but like... There's gonna be some counters to every playstyle, you know? Like, there's gonna be some counters, you know? So, like, I don't really see what they mean when they say that its mechanics aren't too abrasive against certain playstyles, because, like, some playstyles are going to be countered by something, you know? Like, I was doing, like, in Slay the Spire 1, I got the Timekeeper when I was the Silent, and I was doing a Shiv build. Guess how that went? I still won, but, like, it was hard. And that was fun. Anyway, then the next post, 2 weeks later... Yeah, 2 weeks later, they moved to 2 weeks by now. They say, Doormaker out, anal glass in. Doormaker has been replaced with a brand new boss. Oh, I pronounced it anal glass, and then I just realized it's Aeon glass. I'm calling it anal glass. Anyway, while Doormaker had interesting micro decisions in the fight, he was over the complexity threshold of what we want and had lingering issues. We decided that starting over fresh will let us hit what we actually want for an Act 3 boss. Okay, do you guys remember what was in the last post, which said, Doormaker's overall difficulty/win rate is in a good place, and it's even slightly weaker than the Act 3 bosses. Other Act 3 bosses, both in kill rate and damage dealt. And remember this line? This very cursed line. So there you have it. They contradict themselves and add a new boss which distracts them from what they should actually be doing with the game. They should be at least showing something, like even art for the alternate Act 2 or the character or something. Like these aura effects are cool, but like... Add them all at once when the 6th character is added. Like, you don't need to add them now. Like, it's meat on the bones. You need the games to be finished before you add this, cool stuff. Like, normally I wouldn't say this for a game, but in a game in early access, which is going to be which has already been out for, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, and it's going to be releasing in 1 to 1.5 more years. It's like really, really sad, you know? Like, I don't know what they're doing, and neither does anyone else, because they haven't said anything. Oh, and back to the Doormaker. Here we are on the Slay the Spire 2 wiki for the Doormaker. So, let's read the mechanics, shall we, and see if it's too complicated. So, first of all, we can see it has infinite health, on its first phase. Okay, you can set up your power cards and stuff. That's nice. I mean, like, yeah, it doesn't seem too unbalanced, especially when it only has 512 health on Ascension 8. Anyway, so then it can switch to 3 different things: hunger, scrutiny, and grasp. Okay, what does hunger do? Whenever you play an attack or skill, it is exhausted. Well, that seems like a good effect. I mean, like, exhausting is good and bad. Like, if it's something you really like, then it is, well, it's bad. But if it's something you want to get rid of for the rest of the combat, then you can play it and exhaust it. It's all about strategy. Also, because it changes every turn between 3 different things, like he'll change the scrutiny next turn, you can kind of plan ahead, which I think was a really, really cool mechanic. And I really like the art for it as well. So yeah, it's a good mechanic. I don't know why they thought it was bad. Then we have scrutiny, which has the eye, which is, I don't know what scrutiny is, but I kind of think it's like when people are looking at you badly or something like that. Anyway, scrutiny is you cannot draw additional cards during your turn. Well, I don't really do builds where you don't draw additional cards during your turn, so I'm not going to be that affected by this, but I know some builds will. But like that's a variety in the game. Like that's how the game works. Some people do different builds, some people are affected by different things. And then we have the developer comment which said that it was too strong against some build. Like, if you have some build, then you're gonna be affected against different things. Okay. Well, then we have grass. Scrutiny changes to grass, and the grass is grasping the edges of the portal, which is really cool. Also, the Doormaker fits really well with the fantasy theme of Slay the Spire 2. Like it's absolutely amazing. Anyway, so we have Grasp, which says whenever you play a card, lose energy. Energy. So basically, all 1-cost cards cost 2, all 0-cost cards cost 1, all 2-cost cards cost 3, and all 3-cost cards cost 4, and so on. So they basically cost an extra energy. I think this one will affect everyone. So yeah, I think they were talking about scrutiny when they were saying that, and like you don't really have to be so protected of people who spam additional cards during their turn. Anyway, I feel like grass is a good effect, because I don't know, it's like a general all-purpose killing thing. I can see why people would think it's too strong, because it deals 30 damage, or 35, 24 or 26, and 10 times 2 and gains 3 strength, for 11 times 2 and gains 3 strength. But I feel like at that point in the game, you should be able to kill it pretty quickly, or you should have enough block to deal with it as well. Like, they could just lower the numbers if they really thought it was unbalanced. Like, these effects are great. Like, why would they remove it? Okay. The Doormaker is a perfect boss. Okay, well, we've looked at one of the bosses. It seems a bit unfair that we don't look at the other. The Anno Glass. Sorry, I'm allergic to bad boss design. Okay, the Anno Glass. Every 6 cards you play, add a wither to your hand. I really don't like this boss design. It's basically the Timekeeper, but worse, because, well, it's a boring boss. Like, if this is in your hand, take 3 or 6 damage, depending on whether it's upgraded or not. Like, what? Like, there's a million other cards that do that exact same effect, and it's not even any strategy. Like, play less cards. Remember the Doormaker, which had 3 different kinds of effects it could have, which were both positive and negative in some ways? Like, what is this boss design? Yeah, they kind of wasted their time. I feel like you don't have to go that overboard. I mean, like it fits in the technology theme of Act 3, but like what? What? Okay. Oh yeah, I also find it funny that they nerfed it like 2 weeks after they added it. It really kind of tells you something, doesn't it? Look, the latest beta patch notes. I didn't really look at it in the last video on Slay the Spire 2, but like content and balance, rework stuff. Sure, balancing could also be done when there's more stuff to balance. Like, get content in, balance it, not do it at the same time. Like, then you won't know what to balance or not. Okay, we've got some new art and stuff. We've got some. I like the translation stuff. It allows more people to play the game, and I really respect that. I really do. Well, it's kind of like number change, like number change, number change, number change, number change, number change, number change. Remember that they in Godot they probably have like a system to make these card effect changes really easily, and stuff. Like I like you can find the source code for this in Godot. You can actually go into the project in Godot, and I think like I'm gonna do that at some point. Anyway, so we have number changes, and then we have this stuff which is really cool. I mean, like it's just UI stuff, art stuff, writing bug fixes, which is cool. But like my main problem here is that they're not really talking about it in the newsletter and stuff, which they really should be doing. And like they should actually, like I wouldn't have a problem with this if they actually said some of the stuff they were planning and showed some stuff they were doing for it. But like, and I wouldn't really have a problem if it wasn't an early access game and they're updating it for the like fun of it. But like, I kind of have these problems, and it's like kind of like connecting with the community, it's not about not giving like a timeline. It's about like just giving some information, like even like a even like an image of one of the enemies would be really cool. Just something, just something. Like, also, what happened to the Q&A in the newsletters? Like, the newsletters don't really have much stuff in them anymore. Just like random articles, segment to avoid talking about the update, then the merch, free advertising. I still support that, by the way. Connections, the fan stuff is really cool. If I ever do a newsletter for Box Factory, I probably won't update Box Factory when it's out, by the way. I don't know. Anyway. I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm gonna look at the Slay the Spire 2 update for the, well, you know how I put the thumbnails and I have like the characters, like had the Ironclad and the Silent? Well, next time I'm going to do the Regent because that's the order of the character select screen, but I'm actually running out, so I'm kind of hoping they add the 6th character before it's too late and I run out of thumbnails for it. Anyway, so tomorrow I will be doing the Slay the Spire 2 game, and we will see if they finally if they communicate, I'm gonna add a nuke to my game. That's what I'm gonna do. If they communicate, I'm gonna add a nuke to my game or whatever. Like I'm gonna add fireworks or something. Like I don't know, something massive. I don't know. Like if they communicate about the major update. Also, there's gonna be a newsletter after the next update, I think, because they like to put the newsletters out after these better patch notes, and they actually. They could do it before there's 2 more this month. Yeah, they're gonna do it after the second one, so there's not gonna be any newsletter. I think there'll be one more better patch notes, then there'll be the major update the 2 weeks after that, so they can advertise in the newsletter. Anyway, that's it for today. Anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts on the Slay the Spire 2 thing. I mean, like, I've just been talking for like 24 minutes and 30 seconds right now. I can see the future. Anyway, so that's it for today. Yeah, just kind of my thoughts on the Slay the Spire 2 stuff. I've been wanting to get that out for a while. You can probably tell. Anyway, with that, I will see you guys tomorrow for the Slay the Spire 2 game.